Hello, and welcome back to Zeta Get Bored. My name is Zeta, and today we're talking about financial mindfulness. Not in a you need to be on top of everything, planning for retirement, and knowing exactly what's happening with your entire life kind of way. More in just, you should kind of be vaguely on top of knowing what you have, where, and what you can actually do with the money that you have kind of way. So you actually saw me make the financial mindfulness system that I'm going to be talking about in the intro. So I'm going to tell you kind of my personal situation, where I'm at now, why I wanted to make this system, what I kind of thought of for making a system, and how I'm going to use the system that I made. There will be chapters and timestamps in the description box, so feel free to jump to wherever you need to be. But to start, let's talk about how I got to making this system and where I'm at. I graduated with a bachelor's degree last spring. For those of you who don't know, I am an American, which means I had a lot of student loans to pay off. I started very, very carefully keeping track of all of my finances, making sure that I was going to get those paid off before the interest came back that had been paused during COVID-19. A few months ago, the central government announced a plan to kind of help students pay off loans, which would actually take care of the remainder of what I had left. So now that I didn't have loans to worry about, I had to figure out something different to do. With the change in how loans were being handled, I actually decided to look into going back to school to get a degree in communications, because having a physics degree and a communications degree would kind of help me achieve my goals a little bit more. So that is where I am right now. I'm finishing a communications degree. I'm also a freelance science communicator. Because I work freelance, I am totally in control of what I earn. When I started the second degree, I drastically cut down the amount of time that I had to work and the amount of time that I had to earn money, because I was taking classes and doing homework. I also didn't change my spending patterns though, which of course is a bad plan. I was spending just as much but making less. And I kind of found myself not really knowing what was up with my money. I didn't know where it was going, and I wanted to figure it out. I want to have some sort of base knowledge of where my money is at, what I have, what I can do. So I know you're probably thinking there are online systems for that everywhere. There are tons of them. They all do different things. That's true. They do. There are a lot of online options. There are a lot of electronic ones. If you have found one that works for you, awesome. If you were like me and you were trained with sticker charts as a young child, so you now only respond to analog systems, we can talk about the whiteboard on my wall. I have a unique financial system, as everyone does, so please feel free to change the categories and numbers here as needed to fit your life. This is how I looked at mine though. I started by looking through all of the different categories that I needed. I knew I needed a category for spending each week. I wanted to keep track of the padding on my checking account, the money in my savings account, as well as some in a high-yield savings account. I also needed to make sure I was earning enough to pay off my state student loan and my Spotify subscription each month, as well as that I was just earning in general. I also wanted a space to keep track of more expensive items I want to save up for, just for funsies. I figured the best way to represent all of this visually was with bar graphs. So I created a different bar graph for each category and put the numbers I wanted at the top, and then broke the bar up accordingly. For spending, that means I put $150 at the top of the bar and then divided it into enough sections that I could get a fairly accurate idea of where different amounts were. I did the same thing for each category. Again, please feel free to change categories and numbers to whatever works for you, but once I knew the format that I wanted, I gathered my physical supplies. My supplies were a whiteboard, a dry erase marker, and washi tape. I kept things pretty minimal and used a smaller whiteboard than I'd envisioned, but I didn't think it really made sense to spend more than I needed to on supplies for a financial mindfulness system that seemed pretty counterintuitive. Everything I used, except the specific washi tapes, will be linked down below, and I'll also include a section for the items I'd have gotten if I were going to spend a bit more on this project. Regardless of any limitations with the supplies that I used, it came out almost exactly as I wanted it to, if a little bit messy. The washi tape acts as a border for each bar graph, and the values and labels can be changed as needed with a marker and eraser. The idea for how to use this is quite simple. As I work hours to earn money, I'll fill in the earned bar to give myself a little extra motivation to work more hours. The same will happen for the loans and subcategories. As I work, I'll add to that bar instead of the earned bar as needed for the month to fill it. The spending column will reset weekly, starting at $150 and going down until the week is over. Anything left over will be moved to a different column that isn't full yet as needed. The remaining columns will be filled in as I get paid or subtracted from if money needs to be removed from them. For example, I have to get new tires soon, which will dip into the padding on my checking account, and that will need to be brought up again at my next paycheck. Any money that isn't automatically spoken for between spending and required payments will be split evenly among any partially empty columns when it comes to increase my savings and help me get fun things like fancy new sneakers or a tattoo. And that, my friends, was my financial mindfulness system. All analog, all just chilling on a wall, super easy to update and keep track of, and a very constant visual reminder of where I'm at. Hopefully this video gave you some inspiration for your own financial mindfulness system, and hopefully that can be of some benefit to you moving forward. If you want to see more content like this, if you want to tell me about your financial mindfulness system, if you want to tell me that I'm a total idiot and I did this all wrong, alright, let me know in the comments. While you're down there, you may as well hit like and subscribe and the little bell thingy. There are also some links in the description to check me out elsewhere on the internet. And until next time, stay curious, compassionate, and creative. Bye.